Hello, Damba Scientists, and welcome back to another episode of Sketchbook Therapy. And this time we will also review the acrylic marker set from Artex. These markers were a gift from my father for my birthday, and I kinda know that this episode comes out in September, but I registered it earlier in March. And yeah, even in March it was kinda not my birthday, but still, it was a gift that came late and I still love it. I tried it multiple times, I use it almost every day now, and I think the Artex just is a really good brand. This is totally not sponsored, by the way. I will like it, I will love it. I would love to get sponsored by Artex actually. Artex, sponsor me, please! I am a good artist, I think. The topic of today's discussion is actually special interests related to autism, and to more specific term, the need to talk. To clarify something, special interests are highly focused interests common in autistic people. Special interests are more intense than typical interests, such as hobbies, and may take up much of a person's free time. A person with special interests will often hyper-focus on their special interest for hours, want to learn anything as much as possible on the topic, related items, and incorporate their special interest into play and art. In the last episode I already talked about how when I was little, one of my special interests was space and animals. Well, my current special interest is, and the stronger one, is art, duh, but also Dungeons and Dragons. And you can clearly see that when you talk to me, because I will start yap about Dungeons and Dragons almost non-stop for hours if someone doesn't stop me. And I think this is a very common experience for a lot of neurodivergent folk. The need to info dump to others about your special interest. And also some little note for neurotypicals who are maybe watching, this is actually a love language, because yeah, I love something so much, and if I start talking about my special interest, it's because I'm sharing something that I love, hoping that you may love it too and feel the same level of happiness and joy that that particular special interest brings me. And for much fun special interests are, I especially don't want people to get a false idea on how actually it is. I love having special interests, it's very funny, it brings me a lot of joy, but they also take about almost all the time. Like, I can forget to eat, I can forget to wash myself, I would probably forget to breathe if it was not automatic, because my mind will only focus on my special interests. I once had a panic attack because that week I didn't consume enough Dungeons and Dragons content. And yeah, that can bring to some behavior. The stereotypical obsessed fan cringy thing that you see online that gets often bullied is probably a neurodivergent folk expressing their special interest. But to get it more into the topic of today's discussion, what is the need to talk? Well, as I said, special interests require, your brain requires that you engage with this interest all the time that you can, but also makes you want to talk about it all the time, and especially want to talk it with people that you care about. Growing up, I always went to my mother and info dumped to her about everything that I will learn about certain topics that I cared. And for a while, especially when I was a child, she was like, "Oh, you're so smart, go off, kid," and not have that much of a reaction to it, except thinking I was really smart because I knew a lot about certain topics that people my age usually didn't know. But growing up, that started becoming a bit of a problem, because I often dominate conversation with just me talking about certain topics even if no one else cares, and the worst part is that I don't realize others don't care. In my mind everything makes sense, like a lot of people talks about a lot of things that are worthless in my perspective, so for common decency they should listen to what I'm saying. But that's not how neurotypical society works. To avoid me over yapping, especially at like family gathering and stuff like that, my mom used to pull a braid in my hair to make me realize I was talking too much. I hated that. I think that it was extremely violent of her. Actually gave me a lot of stress in the moment because it made me feel shame about sharing something that I love, and ultimately made me very reclusive and feeling that every time I talk to others, that is just something that annoys others, like if my voice is annoying. And probably that is also the reason why I am making this video, merely for me to be able to talk about things that I like without feeling that sense of guilt about annoying others. This isn't so uncommon experience between neurodivergent folk. I think everyone who is in the community feel the need to talk to others, to express their love to certain things, and every time that we do, we are met with some very harsh feeling. That is the proverbial eyes roll, the people saying, oh, you talk too much, or just people laughing and making weird faces like we are some circus animal that they find amusing and weird, when actually we are just trying to share. A lot of my anxiety about speech is actually related to this. It's still hard to talk about this. Like, every time I open my mouth to start talking, my mind immediately goes, why are you talking? Who's gonna care? No one cares. Who are you? And you're just left there, filled with anxiety because you don't really have anything to argue. You are just a person. And the voice is probably right. Who else would care about, I don't know, how Drow society in Dungeons and Dragons is actually a perfect metaphor for how gender-based apartheid will always bring homophobic routes, and how it actually show how racist and sexist the first creator of D&D was, or even how Baldur's Gate is a perfect example on how different people react to certain topics and how different people react to trauma if it is brought by someone they find attractive or someone that they don't. And even if by you this sounds like an incredibly interesting topic, it's probably because we are on the internet and we're quirky. But in everyday life, especially in my everyday life, with the type of family I have and the type of people I had around my whole life, there are not many people who are interested in just the thing that I am interested. And if you think that I'm exaggerating, I can say that my first friend, I had it like in second year of middle school. I didn't have a friend before, and even that friend at the beginning when we first met was not really nice to me. He was often mean. He got better right now and we're still friends, but when we were in high school and middle school he was a bit of a bitch. Ciao Sammy, se mi stai ascoltando ti voglio bene. So now I am 22, and for the first time I have found friends who are actually interested in what I'm saying. I have a D&D group. I am the dungeon master of a campaign that I've been writing since I was 12 and can yap with other people about things that I enjoy. The problem just stays there, because even if these people care about what I'm saying, the level of neurotypicals' love for something will never match mine. And sometimes when we are like out with a friend group, especially with people that I might not know as well, and I go back in like talking about how amazing Baldur's Gate is, I still feel that dread when I look up and see them making that face of embarrassment. It's just hard. I wish I had like a more something nice, something cheerful to say about this, but actually I don't. This is just something that has happened, and to, I think, bring some awareness. The cringe TikTok person who's talking about this, especially interest and overanalyzing everything, is probably neurodivergent, and online is the only place they can talk as much as they want about their favorite topics without feeling that they are bothering anyone, because if people don't care, they can just move to another video. Yeah. To get more on the like actual therapy thing, I probably should give some advice. I actually don't have many, because any type of advice like trying to stop this behavior from happening, for me it doesn't work. What I can say is that actually having a social media presence and talking about special interests there can be very beneficial, and I'm trying to do it more. So probably expect into the next couple of times, weeks, months, I don't know, that I will start probably talk about D&D much more often, because this is my space and the world is big. There are a lot of people. There is probably gonna be someone that cares about the topic as much as you do, and if you're searching for it, the internet is probably the right place. One other thing I will probably advise is to go to a place where you might find other people as interested as you are. I know that as very introverted type of people, we are scared of a very crowded place, but the nicest people I ever met were actually at Comic Cons, or with, especially in the artist alley, when I was talking with other artists and we started talking about D&D and our characters and our stuff. Really great place to feel better about your interest. So yeah, this is pretty much it. You have seen me talk about my special interest and my stress maybe related to it while I was painting my D&D characters. The one with the green screen is called Emrys, and he's a Githyanki who was adopted by a couple of Baldur's Gate, and he didn't realize he was a Githyanki until the start of Baldur's Gate, the game. And the purple tiefling is my OC for the Dark Yurts run. His name is Silas, and the drow is actually one of my oldest character. Their name is Saya. They were once Star Wars OC, and then they got turned into a D&D one. I'll probably talk about Star Wars as well, since it's also one of my favorite show. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Just remember to take your meds, drink some water, and always remember to love the unlovable. Bye!